me a second.
No, it's all
what did
good.
we do last week? It's been an entire week.
I know.
So yeah, y'all went to the ruins after Baron told Nora Nightshade exactly what everyone's plan was, which was such a choice. And
bold one.
So y'all fought and were able to kill all of Nora Nightshade's hench people except for I think it was Irons, who was like knocked unconscious by someone's spell, and y'all just left them there. And then I think it was Ocho who finally killed Nora, and then Virgil went crazy attacking Nora's body and then stabbed himself in the chest with the evil dragon shard, and then everyone decided to head back to Hope's Edge while Carlotta wrapped up the negotiation, collected payment from Phalor, and passed off the dragon shards that y'all collected, which you now know one of the reasons that they were so well protected on the train was because they were super magically radioactive. And Tari got turned into a cat temporarily, and Ocho summoned some dinosaurs thanks to better Ravensteel, and I think that's about it. Oh, Baron also almost died.
I feel like Ocho knocked Nora unconscious, and Virgil just killed her, and then just dismembered her. That's how it went in my head. We had a chance to do something with her, and Virgil's just like, nah.
Not today.
Not today. Yeah. Well, in that case, I think we would pick up with Virgil, who just nothing crazy happened. He just shoved a demon shard in his chest and passed out.
Yeah.
And Baron was gonna kill him with the sword, and Carlotta convinced him not to.
Baron seems to jump to that conclusion just an awful lot in this campaign. Well, maybe we should kill Virgil about it.
I mean, to be fair, he also said maybe we should kill Brielle about this other thing, so I think he just goes, let's kill loved ones a lot.
Yeah, it's old habits die hard.
Yeah, don't get a sibling relationship with Baron, it's bad for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to leave this to a party decision, so Virgil obviously stabbed the demon shard deep into his chest, and then was unconscious. You guys drug him back to the town, and then what would you all have done with him? I think we probably need to figure out.
Yeah, that's actually where we're gonna. That's okay. That's where we're gonna pick up is sorry, I lost my train of thought for a sec.
What to do with old Virgil?
Yeah, what to do with old Virgil? Because like you said, so Ocho was carrying him, and Carlotta, you guys were making your way back to town, but Virgil's unconscious. And
I think Carlotta's plan anyway is to have Ocho bring Virgil in through the back kitchen entrance of the Flint and just take him down to the alcohol cellar and then confiscate any and all weapons.
So Carlotta and Ocho are on the outskirts of town, but Virgil's not. Virgil's unconscious, and Virgil, actually, you find yourself in snow and cold, and you find yourself in a world where warmth doesn't exist and has never existed. There's a storm raging around you, and there's a cold sun that's painting the sky with dark. And ahead of you, you see footprints in the snow leading up towards the horizon.
I guess with no other idea of what to do, I'll follow the footsteps.
As you walk, you're making your way through the footsteps. You feel this hand kind of wrapping around you, touching your shoulder, and it's familiar. And he looks up at the horizon with you, towards the cold sun, and he says, "It's beautiful, isn't it?"
Where am I?
It can't be stopped now, Virgil. Garrick, he was weak, so we killed him. Thorne, his days are numbered. And your friends, so-called friends that are scheming behind your back. Baron, he would have killed you if the Genasi hadn't saved you. But
I have a name.
she didn't do it for you, Virgil. She did it for herself. And when it comes to people like Carlotta and Baron, the belief in a supernatural source of evil is not necessary, for they're quite capable of every wickedness imaginable.
Who are you?
I'm your friend, Virgil. I've been with you this whole time, and now we're one and the same. My power is inside you now, so you should embrace it. It's a power like none other. But there is one thing to know, Virgil. I'll come for you. Slowly, surely. Bit by bit, I'll tear at you. I'll bring you to my level. Because I just long to walk upon this earth again. Now that this journey started, the clock's ticking. If you can't stop me before time runs out, then everything will know a cold that it hasn't felt since the first breaths of the world. I'll see you soon, Virgil. I hope you're ready.
I'll be ready. Though Virgil really doesn't know what that means. Ready to embrace this evil entity or ready to stop him? He does not know.
Well, one thing Virgil does know is his eyes shoot open, and he's staring into the face of Ocho. And the year is 998 YK, and we find ourselves in Hope's Edge.
Ocho, why are you so close?
He just stares down at him and Buonasera.
Where are we? What happened?
Sorry, Brett, the year part threw me off. Is it a different time or is it just...
No, it's right now.
Okay.
That's the year we've been in the whole time.
Gotcha. I was like, did you just throw back to a flashback?
This is the present day.
I remember what year it is in our actual world. I don't remember what year it is in our fantasy world.
Yeah.
It's late at night. It's dark. The streets are lit by the ever bright lanterns and the torches. And the three of you, as you make your way back into town, you find a crowd gathered in the main street outside the House of Healing, the Jarasco Clinic. And it's late. Like you can tell from the lack of sun. It's got to be like 11, close to midnight. So seeing like this level of crowd in the street is Like, really weird.
I would wave over to Carlotta if she's near that.
Yeah, Carlotta would be right
Virgil's
there holding
awake.
Peacekeeper.
Oh. Hello, Sheriff. How homicidal are we feeling? Scale from 1 to 10.
I don't know about homicidal, but I do feel pretty good. All things.
That's deeply concerning.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I can't say that I haven't felt this good in a long time. What happened to Nora and the ruins and Baron?
Well, by the time I got to the ruins, you had already successfully alienated Baron, and then you, how shall we say this? Brutally tore Nora Nightshade apart before all of our eyes, and then stabbed yourself with a dragon shard that appears to still be in your chest, and then you collapsed. I think that about sums it up. I wasn't there for most of it.
I assume Virgil's. I think last session Virgil tore his shirt off, so he's probably shirtless. So when he hears that he stabbed the dragon shard into his chest, he'll kind of look down and, like a look of surprise, and kind of touch the area where the dragon shard would have been stuck. And I guess for the party, what that looked like is, so Virgil shoved the dragon shard in his chest. There's a full-on wound there, obviously, but it's not bleeding. It doesn't. Obviously, Virgil's alive and well, but it's a giant wound, and what you would see on the inside is just a faint glow from the dragon shard. So Virgil would kind of touch it, realize that it's almost directly where his heart would be. Okay, I don't remember that, but I am a little concerned why I'm not dead, since this thing could have killed me.
I'm not sure
Any
it should have
ideas?
killed you. You seem to draw some sort of unpleasant evil strength from it.
Oh, good.
I like you.
Thank you, Ojo.
I definitely have felt a strong influence from the shards ever since we came in contact with him. I think for a while there, they were driving me a bit mad. But right now, everything seems calm and still.
Right, and you'll let us know if that changes.
Yeah.
I would like to insight check that.
I won't contest it. Virgil's is definitely telling the truth, that he'll let you know. He's a little confused by him being drawn to the dragon shards, and also like what all this means. But he also feels like really good, like almost happy, which he hasn't been in a really long time. He's just been kind of somber Virgil, so he's a little confused about everything.
Right, well, Sheriff, since you're currently shirtless and covered in your own blood and one of the most notable outlaws in the area's blood, I think it'd probably be best if you didn't approach that large crowd around the healers. I think you should go in through the back door of the Flint and wait for us to discuss things.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
You start to hear voices, like a a strong voice from among that crowd that's gathering, and you can kind of see, like, from where you are, you're not, you're out of view. You're not directly on the main street, but you can see the crowd, and up kind of by the front entrance, like kind of up on the raised kind of porch type of thing on the clinic. You see a tall half-elf, long blonde hair, beautiful, just almost like an ethereal look about her, and she's in silver plate armor, and on the front of it, on the breastplate, there's the emblem of the silver flame, and it's got like kind of illusion enchantment on the flame, and it looks like the flame is actually like burning on her chest. And
oh yes, that's the other thing I meant to tell you about.
Do tell.
There have been a few developments since you left. Some newcomers with association to the Silver Flame. I'm currently working on that angle.
So, standing beside her, there's two individuals. There's two men. One of them is just a kind of relatively plainly dressed, very young-looking man, early 20s, and he's got like he's wearing an orange cloak, and the paladin as well too. Over her plate armor, she's got an orange cloak on, and the man, again, pretty young-looking. Ocho, you kind of like hone in on him and give us a perception check. And while you're doing that, the second man is Baron. You don't see Atari at all. Baron and Atari left together back to town. You don't see Atari at all, but you do see Baron standing in front of this tall half-elf woman.
It's a 21.
Yeah, so on a 21 you see this young man, just looks exhausted, drained, like he's just been through a harrowing experience. Like he just completely and utterly exhausted, and he looks very silent. His shoulders are kind of slumped, and you see that the half-elf is kind of addressing the crowd. But Baron is kind of standing in front of her, and she reaches out a hand and she touches Baron on the cheek. You're too far to
hear what they're saying.
Give me a perception check, or alternatively, you specifically could move closer to here. I know it sounded like you didn't want Virgil to get in the thick of it, but if you want to move closer, you could hear without a perception check.
I'll get closer. I'll give Virgil kind of a I've got my eye on you type of thing, and then go into the crowd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you get closer, you can hear, and actually, as she's kind of touching Baron's cheek, she actually like leans in and kisses him on the cheek, and she says to him, "I've found you."
Oh, that's always an excellent thing for religious zealots to say to people.
She kind of steps back and she starts kind of addressing the crowd. Everybody's kind of a little bit silent. She kind of ignores anything anybody else is saying, and she says, "My name is Solara Derisnu, Templar of the Silver Flame, and my companion," and she points to the young, tired-looking man. "My companion is Lucian Nevalom, whose father is Wedin Nevalom, who is the Prime Minister of Hope." And Virgil, you stayed where you are, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'd sit up, but I'm still on the ground.
Let's get a perception check from you to see if you can hear what was just said.
Alrighty. $21.
Yeah, so you reckon you hear everything that was said. You recognize the name Wedin Nevalom right away. He was a general in the Siren military. You never like served with him or under him, but you've heard of him. But you were not aware that he was the like prime minister of Hope, this region. Yeah.
At that, I'd probably start getting myself to my feet. Hey, Ocho, you got a shirt?
Ocho does not have a shirt. Ocho...
Nothing? I'm sure there must be something around. You could just requisition one from a citizen.
He rips it off.
It's an emergency. I need your shirt.
I have to commandeer this shirt. Virgil will just, if Vocha says no, then Virgil will lean and like look around and look for like just a, you know, I'm sure there's a crowd gathering, so there's like people walking by, and there's if there's a man, he'll stop him.
Yeah, seeing you shirtless, covered in blood, he's just like, oh yes, so just like whips his shirt off as fast as possible. It's like, here, please, 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 and then runs away.
I would imagine this man is probably not the same height as Virgil, so it probably just looks up like a crop top on him.
And Virgil's got people just tearing their clothes off around him.
I am aware of the effect I have on people.
So I'll, or actually I think I have some artwork of these characters too. I'll send, so shirts and making questionable fashion choices. The half-elf keeps talking. She says, we've come to bring the light of the silver flame to Hope's Edge, to all of Hope, and eventually all of Kabara will embrace the flame and take up the fight against the coming darkness. And we will purge the evil from this land and our own hearts. We will eliminate all sin, and all must follow the path. We must all remain pure. And she kind of takes Baron's hand in hers and kind of raises it a bit, and she says, we will prevail, for we have the champion of light, the chosen of the flame, Baron Helmworth.
Ocho, do you have any idea what's going on?
Big boss man, even bigger now.
Yeah, I think Baron may have been promoted when we weren't looking.
What's the crowd's reaction to what she's saying?
Give me an insight check.
Okay.
19.
I'd say people are pretty tepid. Like there's not a ton of organized religion in Hope's Edge, so you know, some people that are like just myths going to church are like, yes, perfect, like finally a priest or like some religion in town. But a lot of people are just kind of like you know, kind of feelings, maybe a bit of culty energy, and based off recent cult reactions, yeah, maybe not like loving it. But she keeps she proceeds, and she says, to prove to you all that the silver flame will guide you, protect you, and help you purge all evil from your hearts. We have proof of our intentions. And then she kind of steps aside and pulls Baron aside, and this young man, Lucian, and the House of Healing, the door opens, and a man walks out. He's tall, black hair, looks younger, middle-aged-ish, has like a strong gait, smooth, fierce determination in his eyes. And Thorne Blackwood stands before the crowd and just puts a fist in the air, and the crowd erupts, seeing their mayor back alive and standing.
Holy shit.
And so the crowd was a little bit tepid before, but on your insight, Carlotta, you can see now people are just like, people are screaming, yelling, like cheering, like they're enraptured now.
I think Carlotta would probably like try to get slightly ahead of the like cheering. Like the second she recognizes Thorne, she's going to like start a round of applause to try and kind of prove to the new Silver Flame people that like she's in full support of them, and kind of get like a little bit of legitimacy added to this as well.
Yeah, give us a performance check, and Ocho, give me a perception check. And Virgil, while you guys are both rolling those checks, Virgil, as you're kind of stepping forward, you see Thorne looks to Baron. And you know that Thorne and Baron haven't seen each other in years, and the last time they did was probably at the end of Swords. But he just kind of looks at Baron and he says, "My son," and embraces him. Performance check from Carlotta.
And that's a 26.
Yeah, no, they definitely take note. You can see, like, as Thorne and Baron are hugging, you can see that this Solara looks right at you and smiles.
What a bitch.
It was a 22 perception from me.
So, Ocho, the whole crowd, every single face here is focused on Thorne. And not just, like, Thorne, this is Thorne reborn. Like, his hair is black, there's not, like, a speck of silver in it anymore. He was walking smoothly. He used to have a terrible limp and a ruined leg. He looks like a man reborn. Every single face is looking at him except one. There's one man in the crowd that, just because of the anomaly of it, you're drawn to on that high perception check.
Yeah.
And as you see this man staring at you, Ocho, you get like a cascade of flashbacks and these memories of the war, of the killing and the death, but also of purpose. You remember a group of Kenneth and Kundarak and military agents loading things into your hidden compartment and sending you off through dangerous battlefields behind enemy lines to deliver these items to other dragon-marked and military agents. And these memories were mostly lost to you until now. But that face of this man looking at you across this crowd is you recognize him. Just a brief hint of recognition of one of those agents who would dispatch you on missions and deliver these strange packages. And I don't know if Warforged blinked, but just in the moment between recognition, in the moment between perceiving and recognition, you realize he's gone and there's no face whatsoever looking at you.
Ooh, Ocho would look left and right, sort of feeling like he saw a ghost, and then
You can give me another perception check.
sure, yeah, I would be looking in the crowd for him again for sure. Oh, 23. Just keep getting higher.
Yeah, there's no trace of him, and you you know how well you're looking, perceiving, and you're starting to, like, you would second guess whether that was actually real.
Got it.
One last thing is, Virgil, as you're watching Thorne and Baron embrace for the first time in a long time, you hear a voice, just a little last whisper of a voice that seems to be fading. And it says, "Love is a fine cushion to rest upon, Virgil. But only hate can make you stronger. Don't forget that.
Virgil would kind of look around, and I guess for effect that he was looking around, but he knows the voice is probably coming from within.
Picture this evil shadow spirit has like a demotivational calendar that he just reads off of occasionally.
Every day, I'm gonna get a new negative manifestation.
He's like, that's Wednesday.
Wednesday's done.
He just checks something off on his evil little to-do list and moves on.
So as all of this unfolds and you have returned to obviously a very different Hope's Edge, Ocho, Carlotta, and Virgil, what do you guys want to do?
Well, I'm just gonna look at Virgil to see if there's even a chance of getting him to, like, go back to the Flint and remove the evil dragon shard from his chest before we start having conversations with Thorne, but she's pretty sure she knows the answer.
I don't think... I think Virgil would duck into the back room of the Flint and Steel. I think he would avoid all that. I mean, he's happy to see Thorne's alive, but he also was the last person to stab him. And he definitely doesn't like the Silver Flame.
Yeah, Carlotta will go with Virgil.
Yeah, I was going to say Ocho would give some cover for Virgil, just so he's not really as seen so much.
Yeah, 100%. The Flint is pretty sparse. Virgil was cutting through the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Carlotta and Ocho, you'd see like the Flint is pretty sparse. Everybody seems to be out and about. Virgil obviously makes his way into the back, no problem, but you would see... So I'll just maybe point out one thing too, because you guys have been gone out of town for a bit, but Carlotta's been here. But just like the scope of what's happened to this town in the... I don't even know how long it's been... 2 months since the shard was discovered. Like when we started this campaign, the town was about 500 people, but it's at the minimum like tripled in size. There's at least 1,500 people crammed into Hope's Edge now. The tent city is growing. The construction workers are working like around the clock. There's new buildings everywhere. Alleys are getting like small little lots are getting crammed in with new buildings, and there's so many new faces in town. And in the last couple days in particular, there's been a little, maybe we'll say crew. Carlotta would know this, not the rest, but not a ton, but there's definitely been some people rolling into town that are wearing very familiar attire outfits. They got like blue cloaks, blue sashes, armbands, and grizzlies on their clothing. Obviously some of the Black Pit boys, but none of the ones you recognize, certainly not Ondar Red, and none that match any of the faces on the bounty boards or anything like that. But yeah, again, the Flint's pretty sparse, but Nelly and a couple of your workers are hopefully waiting for the crowd to filter in after things are done. They're kind of like watching from the porch, probably.
Carlotta would stop in front of Nelly and say, I think we're about to have a bit of a celebratory rush. Might want to get out the good alcohol and water it down a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
Ocho would go start to prep his table for a big night.
And it goes without saying, but don't let anyone in the back room
So,
Right, so we head into the back room.
Virgil, you had maybe a few minutes alone in the back room. Was there anything you wanted to do, or?
If you take another dragon shard, I will set you on fire. No hesitation.
I guess, I think Virgil would be in a little bit of shock with everything that's happening, so I don't think he'd immediately look for the dragon shard. I think seeing Thorne up and walking again, and embracing Baron, the new Silver Flame folks in town, that's just a lot. So I think he would just kind of take a seat. Actually, he'd probably grab a bottle of whiskey and then take a seat.
Yeah. So you're all together now in the scheming room.
It's where we do all of our best work. Oh.
Yeah, so I would like to make, like, I guess a medicine check on Virgil to kind of see what the shard impaled in the chest situation is.
Mm-hmm.
Not very good at medicine, so if Ocho also wants to do this, that would be cool.
Ocho's literally kind of thinking to himself, like, after seeing that person of his that really distracted him, he's like, wait, did I just see Thorne standing up? Question mark?
It appears,
Yes, that's what people tend to do when they're brought back from the brink of death.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 10 on medicine.
Does it look like anything, Virgil?
I would say, like, just for shape-wise, it probably looks like a cat's eye. The iris of a cat's eye.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, there's probably a little gap where you can see the glow. It's probably red around the outside, like where just like a wound would be.
Mm-hmm.
But then there would probably be little, like, dark gray tendrils that kind of came off of it. Not too terribly far, but you could definitely see it onto his chest. You guys remember Iron Man 2 when Tony's getting, like, poisoned by the arc reactor? Kind of like that. That's, like, radiating off of his chest.
This looks healthy.
Ocho then goes over and sees what he can do. Anything about his knowledge with Matt Dragon Shards, and rolled a 20, dirty 20.
Yeah, so like it's like completely beneath the skin, like you and like near his heart. So it's pretty obvious on that dirty 20 that trying to take the shard out would, like, unless you have the best surgeon in Eberron, would kill Virgil. But it also occurs to you too, as you're kind of maybe giving him like a little bit of an examination, that like Virgil looks good, and like his muscles are a bit more defined. He's got like a few extra veins popping. Like Virgil kind of is looking like kind of yoked right now, and looks good, healthy.
Am I a snack?
I think we'd already established that, dear.
So the skin around it looks like it's kind of healing around it, kind of fine, almost, too.
I mean, his skin just kind of, yeah, like it's the color. No, like the colors he's described, his skin just looks like if you were to touch it, it's just like skin, like not scar tissue or like a fresh wound. Like it looks completely healed over, just with this new coloring and kind of energy.
Okay, well, Ocho does the Mr. Miyagi and he slaps two hands together and starts rubbing, and then he holds it over the wound.
It feels so cold as you touch that area, Ocho. Like, yeah, again, like probably the coldest thing you've ever felt.
Well, that's not human. If Ocho knows anything, he's like, that's not right.
So do we think that taking the shard... Do we think that attempting to remove the shard would kill the sheriff, Ocho?
See, the shard looks like it has become one with.
All right. Well, I say this, Virgil, with the utmost respect. We do have several hundred golds worth of diamonds from what we were just paid, and we are close friends with an apparent Chosen One cleric. If necessary, we could cut the shard out, which would kill you, but then we could quickly rectify that fact.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna avoid the death part of it if it's all the same to you, Carlotta. Really, I'm fine, guys. I feel great. Like I said, I know there was a touch of madness, but I really do. I haven't felt this good in a long time, and
Virgil, you described as a touch of madness. How many people that you would describe as your friends have you stabbed in the last month?
You know, I don't put a number on those kind of things, Carlotta. I try not to stab my friends. And
you're doing a terrible job.
If we're really keeping track, I don't know. Does Virgil remember the fact that when we were on the train, that he was actually hitting Baron and everybody else? Or do I still think that I was attacking the guy? I know Baron was pissed off, but I don't know if Virgil remembers it.
I can't. Yeah, ma'am. I feel like you said he got that memory, but I can't remember.
As soon as Virgil snapped out of it, he remembered exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was a lot of the shard's influence, Carlotta.
You mean the shard that's currently buried in your chest? Yes,
maybe
I think so too.
Maybe I neutralized it by shoving it in my chest. I really can't
because as we all know, getting closer to dark magic artifacts makes them less powerful over us.
Ocho's not picking up on that tone at all, so Ocho's thinking maybe if one feels good, maybe two feels better?
It's better? See? Ocho,
put that down. Put that down, Ocho.
No? Oh.
Ocho, if you do, as you're following that line of thought, you look at your Black Dragon Heart, Black Dragon Shard Enhance, Gatling gun, and you kind of look to Virgil and see Peacekeeper, and then you think about that gray shard, and you're like, huh, seems to be a theme here of shards making weapons way stronger, so...
He's a weapon. Will it make him stronger? I think so.
If anyone puts any more dragon shards into their bodies, I'm going to burn the dragon shards out. Let that be a blanket statement to the room.
I would say though that for Virgil, you're picking up on that too. You're feeling how good you feel. You're seeing Ocho's enhanced weaponry. You're looking at Peacekeeper, and you're like, okay, there's clearly some potential with this power. I would say Virgil too, you feel a clarity that you haven't felt in a long time. You feel also feel a control that you haven't felt in a long time. But you do remember the Man in Black's warning that now that this journey has started, the clock's ticking. If you can't stop him before time is out, then bad things are going to happen.
Carlotta, really? You worry too much. I honestly think moving forward, things are going to be a lot better.
See, you just told me I worry too much, but less than an hour ago, I showed up at the ruins to find you absolutely tearing apart the corpse of an outlaw while Baron bled out next to you.
Now,
I think is a reasonable amount of concern that I'm now feeling.
my defense, she had just finished stabbing Baron, and she was the type that needed killing. And we all agree on that in the room. Nora Nightshade, not a good person, probably okay to kill, yes?
Okay to kill, less okay to violently dismember after death.
Well,
Yes.
That just tends to be a little bit suspect.
I
most of the
don't know
time.
what kind of poisons are lurking in her. What if one of them would have made us think she died, and then she got brought back to life?
What if she'd had a vial of gaseous poison on her body? What if he'd broken it?
Well, to be fair, I already threw a vial of gaseous poison on the ground.
You did what?
It's not important. It didn't. Nobody was hurt-ish, you know.
Shall we circle back to the fact that when I showed up, Baron was dying on the ground next to you?
Yes, yes, because Nora stabbed him.
I saw you stab him as well.
Again,
Stab Nora and
accidental.
Baron.
Shard influence. But I think really now that it's in me, I don't know, I'm less influenced by it and feel more in control. I don't know if that makes sense.
Makes sense. I'm just not sure if you can trust feelings that you're having while there is physically a demonstrably evil artifact that influences your mind impaled in your chest.
You do have a fair point.
Sheriff,
I'll
I
keep
will
an eye
trust
on
your
it. How about
judgment.
that?
I'll trust your judgment to a point. If you stab anyone else, we're going to circle back to the surgical removal of the shard, which might kill you, which might need you to be brought back to life. We'll circle back to that. Can we agree?
That's fair.
Alright. Now, let's get you a shirt that fits.
Thank you. And a stiff drink would be very welcomed.
A lot of considers that for a long second. Alright.
And I think we may want to talk about the Silver Flame and its presence in Hope's Edge.
Yes. I think they're going to be some sort of a problem for us. But I also think that they might be an exploitable resource if we play our cards right.
They seem nice.
Thank you, Ocho.
She was like, I like him.
And Virgil? Do not stab either of those nice Silver Flame people in public, okay?
I will not. Well, no more stabbing. I think, like I said, I feel much more in control.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves and say no more stabbing. Let's just draw the line at in public, alright?
Fair.
Ocho puts his
Baby
hand
step.
across the table, hoping everyone puts his hand on top.
That's how I'll do it.
Looks at his hand, looks at his face, gives a sigh, looks down at the ground, and puts his hand in.
Alright, yes, go team or whatever. Alright, I also need a stiff drink.
And Carlotta's gonna pour everyone a shot.
So as you're pouring the shots, from the back room, you do start to hear, not like shouting, but just people, for sure. There's a crowd that is
Celebration?
made... Yeah.
Alright, good. Celebrations are good for business.
Nellie pokes her head in.
Yes, Nellie, what's
and,
going on?
Nobody's really, like... Everybody's here. Well, not everybody. Thorne and, that really tall, hot half-elf, and, Baron, and, that sickly-looking guy. Anyways, there's a bunch of people. A bunch of people went over to the Gold Dragon, too. But, there's like they kind of they're not really drinking. They're just
Then
like
start charging a little bit more for food.
okay. They're just kind of asking for like plain bread and like water, but
Well, it's a good thing we receive money for both of those as well.
we charge for water.
Have you not been charging for water?
Ocho, do you charge for water?
I charge only ice.
Perfume.
Also, we should probably talk about Slink at some point. He's been like, while cooking, just like staring into like the fire, and like I caught him like, you know how we had that rat problem? Well, we've been like catching the rats, and I saw like Slink like, I don't know how to put this. Like the rat was alive, and he was kind of like hurting it, and then he killed it. It's kind of fucked up, to be honest.
Virgil, have you been hanging out with Slink?
My hands are clean of this, Carlotta, but I'm just as concerned as you.
Alright, Ocho, is this a thing kobolds normally do?
I was just gonna say, can Ocho like remember if this is just a thing that kobolds do, or is this something a little more concerning?
Roll a history check.
My chef is possessed.
It's too bad Atari's not here.
That's only an 8.
Yeah, you get the sense that this is an Atari question, because she's been doing the research into the lizard folk and the kobolds and Kabara and everything.
Can I roll history?
Sure, yeah, maybe Atari said something to you.
18.
I guess the only maybe thing that pops into mind, other than just him having a bad day or something, would be you do remember these Poison Dusk, this clan of there's the Cold Sun lizard folk, and then there's this Poison Dusk, and the Poison Dusk they're comprised of lizard folk, kobolds, dragonborn, all sorts of cold-blooded reptile-like creatures, including kobolds. But that's kind of the only thing that, when you're thinking about like kobolds and Kabara, it's like, well, a lot of them do serve this Poison Dusk, who are just like raiders and bandits. But that's kind of the only connection you're drawing right now.
Alright, I'll say thank you for bringing this to my attention, Nellie. I will deal with it as soon as I can.
Not putting them in the stew. That's a good sign.
As long as no one can taste it.
There's nothing wrong with a little rat stew. You used to eat that all the
Exactly.
time back in the war. I see your point now, Ocho.
Also, did you guys know Thorne? He's literally in the Flint right now, drinking water
Yes,
and
that's
eating
one of the
bread.
reasons people are celebrating.
Okay. I mean, that's like fucking crazy. But yeah, okay, cool. But play it off like it's cool. All right.
I'll go fuck myself then. Jeez.
Yeah.
Ocho is also very dumbfounded by this. Ocho's just like,
Lively bunch tonight, Carlotta, and she goes back out.
Nellie needs a raise.
Got the. It's like too much shit happens here. I can't.
It's like after all the other things, after that like tree and stuff, you're surprised that healers brought someone who was injured back to health. Okay. Clerics did cleric stuff. Crazy.
So what are the three of you doing?
I think Carlotta's gonna go kind of try and get a vibe check in the bar.
Yeah, I was just about to
what's up.
say we should probably go greet our mayor.
Virgil, do you have a Shall we say apology planned?
Does one apologize for stabbing them? Or maybe, I don't know, maybe he won't remember. But then again, it's not like people aren't going to tell him.
Yes, I think everyone in town saw you stab him, and
Yeah.
he seems to be talking to everyone in town at the moment.
Well, I did.
Get ahead of these things.
I was upfront with Thorne about the Man in Black and everything that I told you guys. So, here's hoping to forgiveness.
So as you guys exit the back room, yeah, you'd see like they've kind of like drawn the tables all together, and it's kind of more like a communal seating arrangement that's kind of been done. Like tons, as many people can fit in here are in here, and the rest are like spilling out into the street. And you see there's a big crowd in the street, and then same thing like on the balcony of the Gold Dragon, packed, and you can see inside the Gold Dragon is packed. Thorne is sitting beside this very sickly, tired-looking man, Lucian, and on his other side is Solara, the half-elf, and besides Solara is Baron.
Has
And
Lucian seemed sickly the whole time they've been here?
no, when you saw him like yesterday, he looked like hardy and hale and looked like just a young guy with lots of energy. Just tonight, he's just kind of a little bit downtrodden. Not a little bit, like a lot downtrodden. And he's kind of just sipping at some water, pecking at some bread, and kind of talking with Thorne. And Solara and Baron seem to be having a conversation. But they're all kind of like talking together, like it's close quarters. Everybody's filed in, and yeah, good representation of the town is all present as well.
Everyone's eating bread and drinking water in my bar.
There's a few, like the people around, especially around Thorne and these two Silver Flame newcomers. There's a few people then on the like outside of the people who aren't at the big communal table, and people sitting at the bar are definitely still having like drinking liquor, and there is still people imbibing, but yeah.
Alright, well, I guess I'll head over to that group in the middle that's all the important people and top off their water glasses with more water and insert myself into the conversation.
Yeah, as you're kind of like approaching, Baron stands up really quick, and kind of cuts you off. Kind of steps towards you, and he's like, Are you okay? How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Yeah, no idea. Confused?
Seems that in the 40 minutes since we last saw each other, you've become the town's new chosen one.
Yeah, I'm almost regretting this whole redemption journey. I should have just stayed an outlaw.
Well, I think you make either option look good.
Not half as good as you.
Thank you, dear. So, what's your read on this situation? Did you know they were bringing Thorne back from the brink?
I mean, I just got here and met these people. I have no fucking idea what's going on. She just was like, you're the one that dreams have been speaking to, that the flame has been speaking to, and you're gonna be our herald. And then, yeah, fuck, I don't know. I mean, she's not wrong. I have been having dreams.
And what's your read on these people?
Pretty, like, stuffy, uptight, religious folk.
Thank God, so you're not going to put me out of business.
Yeah. The paladin yeah, seems pretty tough. But yeah, definitely not my type though. Don't worry.
It wasn't.
She's way too tall for me.
Ouch. And how about the kid? You think he's as uptight as the other one? Or is there hope for him yet?
I haven't got a read on him. He hasn't really said anything, but supposedly he's the one that brought Thorne back from the brink.
Well, that explains why he looks like shit.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we can corrupt him into being slightly more fun.
As you're saying that,
I'm gonna say that very quietly.
yeah. As you're saying that, Thorne stands up and walks towards you, Carlotta, and yeah, you're just like you've never really seen this man before. Like, the gray in his hair is gone. He's like walking without a limp. He doesn't have a cane. Like, he looks like he's lost 10 years. Like, in a good way. He looks 10 years younger. And he just kind of stands in front of you and doesn't say anything. And then he steps forward and gives you like a big, strong hug.
Okay, I'll go with it.
Mayor! It's so good to see you up and about. How are you feeling?
I've never felt better, Carlotta.
At the risk of bringing up a potentially sensitive subject, what do you remember?
I remember darkness, Carlotta. I remember a lack of purpose. A man torn, struggling. But that's gone now.
I see it is. And do you remember more specifically about the circumstances that led you to be unconscious for several weeks? You remember the election?
Where is Virgil?
That's a yes.
Sorry,
I'll point at Virgil, throw him under the bus.
Sorry, that was like a DM question. Sorry, not a.
Oh, okay.
Virgil's kind of, where like the threshold of the back room would be.
Yeah.
He's on the side of like the bar. He's just kind of sitting back near the door frame, watching everything unfold.
Okay. Thorne, yeah, he on a perception check he rolled a nat 1, so doesn't see you at all.
Because I'm a fucking ninja.
Yeah. But actually, yeah, no. So upon saying that to him, he poses the question out loud and says, "Where is Virgil?"
He's around, but I think he's hiding from you until he has more of a read on how you feel about him at the moment.
There's no reason for Virgil to hide. He is, and always will be, a soldier. And I know Virgil's heart. And while there's darkness, and always has been darkness inside Virgil, I know who Virgil is.
Can I make a perception check to see if I kind of caught any part of that conversation?
Yeah, no, I'd say you're close enough that you
Okay.
you heard everything.
So I would start making my way forward on that then. And
Yeah, I'll kind of usher Thorne over toward Virgil and then say very quietly to Baron,
Do you know Revivify?
As a matter of fact, I do.
Alright, good. Hopefully we won't need it.
Virgil, yeah, as you're stepping forward, yeah, again, like just you're taken aback by this is like the Thorne during the war. Like he's like young, strong, unwounded. Sees you. Give me an insight check.
all right. 13.
When Garrick was alive, Garrick was like Thorne's. Garrick was always like his right hand, and you and Baron were more of like his minions, like his, his like, you do the stuff, and Garrick and Thorne were kind of the decision makers. When Garrick was still alive, like, you guys were a family. And when Garrick died for that short time, Thorne was like pissed at you when you were gone for the month.
Right.
When you got back, like, he was mad, but that slowly faded, and he realized how much he needed you. The look you're getting from him now is like warm, but not that same look. Like, he doesn't look like he needs you anymore.
All right. I would extend my hand for a handshake, and you look good, man.
Yeah, he takes it without hesitation, firm grip, looks you in the eye, and says, "I'm glad you're okay, Virgil."
Glad you're okay too, man. I don't know what demon you had to make a deal with to get all that gray out of your hair, but looks worth it.
Kind of like runs a hand through his hair. He hasn't definitely looked in a mirror. He's like, huh, weird. I mean, my leg is completely healed. This Lucian is, Silver Flame bless him, he is a miracle worker. Second only to seeing Baron back before my eyes.
Wow, we've had quite the chain of events since you've been taking your nap.
Well, it's only upward from here, Virgil. I'm back in the saddle. Never had more purpose. I know exactly what this town is and what this town needs to be. And with the help of the government and hope, we've never been stronger. And this is just the start, Virgil. Mark my words, this is the start of what our empire out here will become.
Well, you certainly don't sound like you've lost your step.
Good to see you, my boy. Gives you a little clap on the shoulder, and he kind of turns away. And yeah, probably puts an arm around Baron and pulls Baron towards the bar.
Can I talk to Lucian and Solara?
Say that again?
Can I go talk to Lucian and Solara? If they're still at the table?
Definitely, yeah. The seat that was between them is now empty where Thorne left, so you could definitely sit right between them. And Lucian's just kind of looking at the table, like, very tired. But Solara just looks like beaming with energy. And when she sees you sit down, just like doesn't like smile, but just like nods. It says, "Miss Kincaid."
Our resident miracle workers. Thank you for bringing our sheriff back to us.
We are
Sheriff Mayor. My bad.
We are simply vessels of the flame, servants of the flame, and its power works through us to banish the evil and bring righteousness to this world.
We appreciate that its light has finally come to our part of the world.
I can do a deception check if you want. Carlotta does not like these people.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. She was, yeah.
23.
Give me like an insight check too. Well, does she know anything about? Yeah, she's been in town for like a number of days, so the deception was good. Give me an insight too.
22.
22, yeah. So like she knows, she's heard like rumors of like you and Baron, and she was just getting like pretty handsy with them, and like just doesn't seem to care at all.
Right, am I getting any kind of a read on what Lucian thinks of me?
He seems he's just so tired. He just can't really, like, he's like he seems to be like a bit of a cleric himself that's just like used all his spell slots. Like he's just so tapped, nothing left in the tank. But he's like not displeased to see you. He's a very like quiet, quiet. Oh, Jesus, quiet and shy individual.
Do I get the sense that like a healing spell would make him feel better?
Yeah,
Does he just need a nap?
No, I mean it's certainly not going to make him feel worse.
All right, I'll kind of give him a little pat on the shoulder and cast Cure Wounds as I do. And that gives him 7 points of healing.
Yeah, he definitely like almost perks up a little bit, and as you're kind of patting him on the shoulder, he like puts his hand on top of yours, and he like, you're a very warm individual, but he's like, his hand feels quite warm to you too. And
as a fire genasi, would I know if that's like in a feverish way? Like you should not be that temperature?
Yes, like that. Yeah, you would run quite a bit hotter than the average human, so something's definitely making him quite warm, for sure. Do you want to roll some kind of check?
Yes, please. What kind of check do you want me to roll?
Let's go Arcana.
Ooh, I suck at Arcana. Let's do this.
Do it with advantage,
14.
though. Do it with advantage.
Slightly worse. That's a 13. So yeah, 14.
Like the energy and the warmth you're picking up off him is kind of reminds you of when Baron touches you.
So this is like a silver flame thing, or do I have a crush on him?
So open to interpretation. So no, I'd say maybe both. No, more of a silver flame thing, like a cleric, divine magic type thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, so Lucian, I hear we have you specifically to thank for getting Thorne back to how he is now. What inspired you to follow the path of the flame?
Well, I'm young, but I did serve in the war, and my family comes from Sire, which of course we know is no longer, and seeing the destruction that happened, my family used to serve the sovereign host, the vassals, and well, after everything that happened in my homeland, turns the man away from gods. But my father embraced the flame, and it spoke to me because the flame is not necessarily a god. It's a force. It's a supernatural force that keeps evil at bay, and it will be the last force standing when all the other gods are dead, and when all the evil is dead from the world. The only thing that will remain is the good-hearted and the silver flame.
I do like a persuasion check to like
just give the most understanding look and just nod like, you can trust me, I fully support you, you got this, kiddo, type of thing.
Definitely with advantage.
donate?
Yeah, you just healed him, so advantage on the persuasion. Not that you need it.
Ooh, 29.
Yeah, he's like, he is like, he's a young man, like early 20s, maybe 22. And just the way he's looking at you now, like he has now a major crush on you.
Perfect. All according to plan. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep making like small talk and just do everything I can to endear myself to these Silver Flame people and be like, yes, I'm on your side, you're bringing such good to this town, what are you planning? Stuff like that.
I guess like one thing Solara would say to you is like, if you were to mention like all the good you're bringing to the town, she'd be like, and what do you bring to the town, Colorado, except vice and sin? It's something we'll definitely need to discuss in the future.
Yes, my goal in the Flint is to create the beating heart of community in Hope's Edge. A place where people can come together like we are now.
Well, I assure you that new beating heart will be a new temple that we'll build here. And the Silver Flame, we're not church on Sunday. We don't sit in our bedrooms and say prayers and have lengthy sermons. We show our devotion through duty and through action and through righteousness. We root out evil in all scenarios. We're always ready for a fight. We keep our skills honed. And that's one thing that I can tell about this town, that you keep people well trained. You have this militia that's training every morning. So you're closer to servants of the flame than you might think, but those proving grounds will be the new source of community in this town, Carlotta.
Yes, I recommend that you speak to my bartender, Ocho. He's the one who leads many of our local trainings. He's gotten us into the shape we're in, and he has every intention of increasing that. I'm sure he'll work with you, especially if you tell him I sent you to him.
And I'm gonna also like kind of touch the back of Lucian's hand and go,
and I'm sure our interests will align.
Okay. Yeah, he's definitely hanging on every word. What's Ocho up to?
He would probably just be standing either behind the bar, seeing all these clerics and missionary type folks. He maybe didn't open up the wheel.
Good call.
With all the vice and sin going on.
So one thing I'll say, Ocho, is give me a perception check, because I just rolled one, so you roll one too.
Okay, roll off. That's an 8.
Ooh. So Thorne and Baron are standing at the bar, and you just subtly poured them a shot, and they kind of like checked over their shoulders, and then downed it. But as they checked over their shoulders, you did kind of see like Baron looking towards Carlotta and Solara and Lucian, and kind of look back and puts his drink back and looks at Thorne, and they're like standing pretty close to each other. You're definitely picking up like a father-son dynamic here.
I'm so curious what the actual like canon age difference between them is.
Yeah, well, Baron is in his early 30s. I think I have it on the sheet. How old's Virgil?
Virgil's in his mid-30s.
Yeah, I think Virgil and Baron are like, around that. I'd peg like, Baron to be around like 33, 34. Thorne would be in his like mid 40s at least, late 40s probably. I can't remember. Like at some point, I think Baron said that like Thorne adopted him out of like an orphanage, but it was like,
oh yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, but yeah, basically like conscripted into military service though, because Sire was in dire straits during the war at that time. But anyways,
Adoption in quotations.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, anything Ocho is looking for or wants to do, or anybody he wants to talk to?
Yeah, no, he'd just be keeping his eyes open for that man he saw, but he wouldn't even really be able to how to communicate to someone like, hey, have you seen this guy that...
Mm-hmm.
Like, he wouldn't even be sure to ask anyone like that, so he'd be just keeping his eye open, and he really wants to talk to Atari about his back.
Yeah, it's strange. You like, yeah, it's strange that Atari's not here. Very strange. And Baron looks at you, Ocho, and then he's kind of like gesturing at you, and he's talking to Thorne still, but he's like, yeah, this Warforged Thorne, I tell you, he's proved himself out there. I don't think I've ever respected a Warforged more. And he's like clearly like saying that loud enough for you to hear and kind of like bringing you in on the conversation.
Right, yeah. Getting that feeling. Not sure what Ocho would really say. He'd just kind of be standing there just, listening to it.
Aaron's really doubling down on this step-parent thing.
Yeah. Ocho's not going to introduce himself to Thorne.
Yeah.
Like, Thorne knows him, but it's like...
100%, yeah. Thorne's kind of like gives you the... Because like you and Thorne and Garrick had a pretty nasty past. Like you got arrested by them, and like, yeah, you definitely know that Thorne had some disdain for you. Give me an insight check.
Ever the politician.
As Thorne looks at me, I would just sort of give it a little, just a little nod, just like, hey, hello. Would you say performance?
Insight.
Oh, insight, love it, even better. 18.
Yeah, you can see like Thorne used to look at you. Maybe not as bad as Garrick. Like Garrick seemed to just really have contempt for you. Hated Warforged. Thorne, slightly less so, but still there. But yeah, he's looking at you like fairly neutral, or maybe slightly above. Maybe a little positive now, which might have been the first ever look he's given you like that. But it doesn't linger, and he goes back to drinking water. Kind of pushes the shot glasses out of the way and grabs some more water.
I would... Ocho would put his arm up on the table, his gun arm, just as like a talking point, a nice break.
Yeah.
Maybe Thorne would be interested in the how that works.
Yeah, he sees it and it's like, that's new.
Vincent's been here this whole time, please.
Atari has been busy.
I can see that. Yeah, wow. Where is Atari?
Ocho also kind of looks around. Where is Atari?
Yeah, Baron is like, she kind of got lost in the shuffle when we were walking back to town together. And yeah, kind of got lost in the shuffle. Just excuse me a minute though, I gotta just have a word with someone. And Baron stands up and leaves Thorne and Ocho.
I just like that awkward moment where Ocho's kind of standing there, maybe like tapping his fingers on the countertop as him and Thorne share awkward silence, kind of looking back and forth. Like when your best friend leaves and then like you and the other friend that aren't quite friends yet and have nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
So
you like music, huh?
Weather's good.
Yeah.
What about that hurricane?
Thorne gives you a nod and turns and goes back to Solara and Lucian. And Baron, wearing this ancient weathered longsword on his hip, walks up to you, Virgil.
Well, aren't you the popular one?
He kind of puts that arm around your shoulder, fairly friendly.
We having a change of heart, Baron? I believe the last time we spoke, you said you and I were done.
Oh, we're not done, Virgil. We're never done. But I am gonna kill you. Just remember that. Just give me a reason.
As I've told many before you, or I'll tell you now, you're welcome to try. And it still stands, Aaron, what I said before. If I get to be too much of a problem and I'm in a state where I can't control and I'm going to take somebody's life and you're there, do the job. You're the big bad sword bearer, chosen of the Silver Flame. Do the job. But if I'm not, and this is just an axe to grind, and you try to kill me then, well, I guess we'll just see which one of us walks away.
No axe to grind, Virgil. But Virgil I used to know is gone. And the only reason you're still alive is because of Carlotta. But I won't let that stop me again, Virgil. Promise you that. I get one whiff. Just one hairs out of place, and I feel like this demon has you. That's it. And I'm not gonna think twice.
You do what you gotta do, Baron. And I'll tell you what, if I feel like these Silver Flame guys are turning you into something you're not, and you start practicing the righteous rule of religion and killing people that don't need killing, I'll do the same for you.
By all means, but the only people the Silver Flame kills is evil.
Well, then we shouldn't have too much of a problem there.
Yeah, unless you're standing on that side with them, Virgil, we won't have any problem.
I don't plan to be standing on that side, man.
Yeah. Tell that to Garrick. And he walks away.
I'll have such a healthy sibling dynamic.
So Virgil, you would have seen in this brief little time of return, you guys are the night's kind of continuing on, and things seem like ideal. Like people seem happy. The darkness in the town seems to be fading away, and the town is, again, like I said, like bursting at the seams, and you've had a chance throughout the night to venture out into the street. If any of you at any time wanted to do a little pop over to the Gold Dragon, you definitely had time, except Baron. But in the street, virtually, you'd definitely be seeing a few of these guys here and there. wearing blue, wearing kind of grizzlies on their pauldrons or on their cloaks, or definitely picking up signs of the Black Pit Boys around town.
All right. That would definitely be something Virgil would want to follow up on. He would also want to thank, before he left the bar, thank Lucian for what he did for Thorne.
Yeah. He's like, as it's getting like fairly late, he's like pretty much a goner. He's probably like nearly falling asleep in his chair, but he's like, yeah. Praise be, my friend, praise be. But this elf, this half elf rather, definitely seems to be like a beacon of energy. She's just like talking to anyone who wants to talk, and I'd say again, like her, Thorne and Baron are kind of, they keep drifting back together as a group and keep chatting amongst themselves throughout the night.
Would I notice if there seems to be any correlation between Solara, like, seeming more energetic and Lucian seeming less energetic?
Give me I don't know, what kind of roll?
Perception? Investigation?
Yeah, either one.
Okay. 19 perception.
I don't necessarily know. I mean, there wouldn't necessarily be like a correlation other than the fact that, again, like, he's like a cleric with all his spell slots expended, and she's like a paladin fresh with all her spell slots ready to go. Like, she hasn't been in a fight in a while. She just looks like fresh, energetic, like she has like a passion burning that just like sets her on her path, and she's like just like talks loud, talks a bit preachy, like sermon-y, kind of like maybe pretentious to you, but yeah. And like, yeah, I guess give me like an insight check.
Okay. 18.
Yeah, you Ocho deals in fists, and Carlotta deals in people, and you can tell that like she doesn't like you. Like you're like a bar owner, and you're like associated with Baron, and yeah, she's like nice with you, but you can tell like she's not your biggest fan.
Yeah, I feel like Carlotta and Solara are gonna get the biggest, like, passive-aggressive vibes going on. Like, this is high school mean girls who hate each other energy right here.
Ocho deals with fists, and Carlotta deals with lips.
Hey.
As the night's kind of winding down, I want to, like, pull Baron aside for a, like, moment where no one will overhear our conversation.
Yeah, in the back room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Hey.
I don't want to interrupt any of the festivities that are happening, but if you wanted to make Thorne's return a little bit nicer, it might be good to close that cold case that he and Virgil have been working on, the Iron Fist murder. I think Aldrich and Phalor have been on their way for several hours now, and you still have Aldrich's confession in your coat. Just a thought.
I completely forgot about that.
That's why I'm here, dear.
It's okay, there's contingencies.
Shit. Aldrich's innocent.
Aldrich knows more than he's saying. And I think Bridget knew far more than she ever said. For the best that Aldrich's out of this situation, especially with new Silver Flame group moving in. I don't think they'd take kindly to him. And once the heat dies down, you can send for him and he'll come back. This is what's best for everyone. And I would like to roll persuasion.
Yeah, 100%.
28.
I just, I know what I have to do now, and that is to stand up against the evil in this land. And we know it's here, Carlotta. We see it all around us. And I'm not talking alcohol or the Marauders, but I'm talking corrupted lizards killing people indiscriminately, spirits murdering people, corrupting people. There's shards we've never seen before. There's evil here, and I don't know why, but I've been chosen to maybe not lead, but chosen at least to stand against this. And we're talking about immortal powers and ideals. And I'm not an immortal power or ideal. I'm a man. I'm weak. But that doesn't mean that I should give in to the fear and the weakness. I need to live up to the ideals that have been placed on my shoulders. And I don't know if this is the right path. All these... If I can't even separate what's right from wrong and truth from lie on simple matters, how am I going to stand against the darkness that could take us all?
Consider that if we're so wrapped up in simple matters, how will we fight against the true evil? If everyone's concentration is split between this months-old murder that no one who still lives in Hope's Edge is even invested in, and fighting against the actual evil that we need to overcome, how can we do that when our resources are split? We need to close this case. The only way we can move forward, united. It's the only way we can protect this town.
If it's what you want me to do, then I'll do it.
I gave you that letter. I don't want to force you into making a choice. I've told you what I think, but I'm not going to be a puppet master pulling strings. I want to work with you on this. And I want to do what's right for the town. You and me. Together.
It looks like right in your eyes. Okay. Okay. But not tonight.
What do you think is best?
I do like an insight to see how Baron's feeling.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a 9.
Hard to read, but not because of like a lack of emotion, just because of so many emotions over him right now. Like he just looks like a man whose thoughts are just being pulled in so many different directions and just overwhelmed, basically. Not used to this level of like shit in his life. So yeah.
Alright, well, I'll complicate that a little bit more by kissing him.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but nothing changes for how I feel, and it's me and you.
I don't know what's going to happen either, but I know we'll figure it out together. We'll keep Virgil from killing anyone else.
Well,
Hey, we're being optimistic in here. Fine, we'll keep Virgil from killing anyone we like.
Virgil, you're in the street. How heavy has Virgil been drinking?
not much. Just enough, take the edge off. He's still riding his newfound energy and happiness.
As you're kind of enjoying that, see a familiar kind of presence comes up beside you, and Brielle turns and looks at you, and damn, you look good.
What brings you into town? Your brother's new coronation?
Well, I guess the way I see it, if Baron's going to be a man of religion, then that just means that, well, there's someone new running things around here, and, we've been on different sides of the law for a long time, Virgil, and hasn't stopped things before, and, we worked together really well out at that train. And if I'm going to be the one in charge around here, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't keep working together as closely as possible.
I guess we'd have to define what that working together means. I'm still the sheriff, Brielle.
She holds out her hand, but it's closed. She holds it out just kind of right towards you, basically putting it in your chest.
Yeah.
Open it.
I'll take her hand and then peel her fingers back.
You see in her palm the gray dusk shard.
Virgil would 100% take it and look at it. Where did you get this?
Finders keepers.
Was this a gift?
Yeah. A gift.
Oh.
An offer.
Ah, there it is.
Come on, Virgil, you know me. I always want something.
What's the job for the prize?
No job.
Then what are you looking for, Brielle?
She kind of puts her hand on your chest. You come see me one of these nights up at the ranch.
Wouldn't the rest of the Marauders love that?
I'll move them up for the night.
Virgil will take the dragon shard and kind of wag it in the air and go, I might do that.
You're gonna do whatever you want to do, Virgil, and ain't nothing gonna stop you.
Ah, you know me too.
She just gives you a coy little smile and walks off, leaving the shard with you.
Virgil will pocket it and start heading towards the sheriff's station.
Welcome, Eltor.
Hey, how is everybody doing?
Everyone died.
Oh, really?
No. Although we haven't been playing for like too terribly. I guess we have. It's almost been 2 hours. It's been really quick. But I feel like we've been playing a lot longer than that. Lots happened.
My goodness. Do tell.
So Thorne's back.
Looking younger than ever.
Yeah,
Nice.
He pulled like a King Theoden on us.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for
That's
him.
exactly it.
Yeah, he's back thanks to some Silver Flame kind of creepy, hyper-religious cult vibe people who have declared Baron the new chosen one in Hope's Edge.
Nice.
Yeah, in a very public display, mind you.
And now most of the town is in the Flint and Steel, drinking water and eating plain bread. As a
Nice.
development.
And Carlotta hates every second of it.
Carlotta's seething, but she's being very, very nice.
It'll come back.
Gonna burn their temple down. Anonymously.
Anonymously.
I hope they try to start a prohibition.
They'll have more enemies.
Yeah,
if
that
they
talks
try
them
that.
into assassinating them if they do that.
And then also the Black Pit boys are back in town, it seems.
The Black Pit. Very nice.
So, would Atari like me to tell her what's been happening to her as everybody else has been caught up in all this drama?
Yeah, sure.
So, you and Baron were making your way back into town together.
Mhm.
And as you were making your way back, you received a sending.
Mm-hmm.
And if I recall, it has to be 25 words or less, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and you know who's sending it, so short and sweet. Basically, it says, I'm on my way. You need to get your things ready as soon as possible. And get ready for a fight. And it's from your father.
Oh boy!
The revelations keep coming.
When people cast sending, I guess you hear it in their voice.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so she would for sure know it's him. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she would stop in her tracks. She would grab Baron by the shirt, or whatever Baron's wearing, blouse, whatever.
Yeah.
Definitely a blast.
Jacket.
Yeah.
And she would say, "My father's coming to get me. I wonder if he knows about the heist."
Ooh, Tari's gonna get in trouble.
Would that be a good thing or a bad thing, Atari?
It would be, boy, she would pause pretty long to answer that because it is a good thing. Both. It's good and bad. Hopefully more good. But in the short term, it's probably more bad.
Mm-hmm. So what's Atari? What's her?
Well, she would double pace it.
Yep.
You know, double time it.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd say, "Let's go."
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, as you're getting back into town, you kind of see this big crowd, and we're stepping back in time a bit, and there's a big crowd in front of the House of Healing, the clinic, and Baron just he's like, I gotta see what's going on here, and just seems
Atari would probably beeline for her office, but yeah, keep going.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, he would definitely barely even notice you splitting off. It just seems drawn to something in the crowd, and he takes off, and you're left to beeline to your office.
You'd probably just pack some essentials, just maybe a change of clothes and a couple of spell books, and anything sensitive like a client list or anything like that. She'd probably take with her as well.
Yep.
I don't know if she would leave any traps or anything. I think she would. I think she'd pull out a piece of paper and she'd probably leave her. She'd probably write some kind of contract that leaves her shop to Ocho.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she'd probably leave it on the desk.
I think you would get, after some time of gathering your stuff and leaving this, you would get another sending. Again, your father, and basically would say wrap things up quick, my love. I'll be here soon. And say the goodbyes you need to say, and I'm coming in hot.
All right. I would say look for the flint and steel, and I'll be ready.
Okay. So, in front of the flint and steel, so on the street, between the Gold Dragon and the Flint, it's just crowded. There's so many people, filing out of the Flint, filing out of the Gold Dragon. Like both taverns are packed. The street is packed, but you do see Virgil kind of leaning against the porch of the Flint, and Brielle is walking away from him, and Virgil's standing there alone.
Yeah, I'd walk up to Virgil and I would say, what's going on here? What's going on with you?
Well, as I was telling Carlotta and Ocho, I feel the best I have in a really long time.
That is fantastic.
I think so too, although I can't say the others aren't worried about me, and for what it's worth, I just want to say I'm sorry about the...
Oh, you mean about the, being part of my arm off? Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, that shard seemed to have been taking a hold of me a good spell, but it's weird. Now that it's in me, it feels more like I can control it.
Okay. Well, who hasn't indulged in, a little arcane magic and, had a fight with a friend every now and then? So yeah, that's not a problem at all. And I hope it stays safe with you.
Me too.
What's this big crowd?
Well, it seems we have some new visitors in the Silver Flame that have moved in, and I guess they've chosen Baron as their savior, for lack of a better term.
Did he show them the sword?
He has it on him. He's wearing it. He also reminded me that should I give him a reason, he will, in no uncertain terms, put me down for good.
Well, I gotta get out of here for a little while.
Everything okay with you?
Probably not. My father's coming out of hiding, and he's taken me away from here, so my thought is that somebody knows what I did.
Was there anything I can do?
Well, let's keep our head on a swivel for the next hour. If somebody knows something's up, they House Kunderic might already be. Have you seen any dwarfs? Any new dwarfs around here at all?
Well, not from my recollection, but I think there was a couple folks at both the Golden Dragon and the Flint and Steel. Also, it does appear that we have the Black Pit Boys visiting us once again.
Well, let's get in and talk to Carlotta.
Sounds like
Ocho remember
idea.
if the guy that he saw is a dwarf or not?
It was a human.
It was a human. Okay.
Yeah, as you Virgil and Atari kind of re-enter the Flint again. Very, very busy, and Atari would see for the first time this tall, half-elven paladin woman in just silver plate armor, and there's a young, kind of very plainly dressed, kind of like priest looking, but not like really, just kind of like wearing kind of iconography of the Silver Flame. Looks very tired. You see Thorne Blackwood, the mayor, and he has like just a renewed vigor. He's got black hair. There's the gray that was streaking his hair seems gone. He's not walking with a limp anymore. Like he looks like a man reborn somehow. And you see Carlotta and Ocho behind the bar.
Well, I'd probably walk up to Thorne and say, "It is great to see you up and about, Mayor."
He would drop to a knee and just embrace you.
Oh. And give him a big hug. Good to see you in the land of the living.
Glad to be back, Atari, and I hear I have you to thank for a lot, and I'll never be able to repay that. And I just want you to know too that I've been talking with my new associates, and the Silver Flame has a plan for you too, as it does for me, as it does for Baron, as it does for this whole town. Don't forget that ever.
Oh, wonderful! It was my pleasure to help in any way that I could, and you could repay me actually.
Name it.
Someone's gonna come by and pick me up, and I'll need a safe escort out of town.
Are we expecting trouble?
Hopefully not. But,
okay, then.
You know, sometimes trouble expects us.
Well, a purified of the Silver Flame is always ready, and he kind of stands and looks to this half-elf and this man and some of his other followers and just says, like, kind of gives a nod, like, everybody be ready.
Thank you. You look good, by the way. Is that Silver Flame?
I only have the Silver Flame to thank for all of the blessings that have been returned to me. And I will dedicate my life now to serving that cause.
Whatever it's doing, keep it up. And she'll give him a little squeeze. And head to Carlotta and Ocho.
Mm-hmm.
She'd probably start with Carlotta.
Okay.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Ocho would get a drink ready for you as he sees you coming.
Thank you, Ocho. I need to take a hiatus. I don't know when I'll be back, but can you watch over the shop until I return?
Of course.
Right.
Anything.
I have deeded it to you, so use it as you see fit.
And Ocho would turn his head. Deed?
Ari would literally laugh. Yeah.
You deed what? What deed
it's,
did you do?
I deed it fitting that you should look over the shop for me.
Okay.
But do not let the kobolds get into the gunpowder.
Okay. And then Ocho would pull you a little closer. Maybe if you were like sitting across the bar, Ocho would maybe now like reach over real close and be like, "I saw someone. We need to talk." And then he would come back.
So Atari would point around, like, where do you want to talk?
We'll talk in the back.
Yeah, well, Ocho, Atari would follow Ocho.
And then maybe just as we're, even if she just comes behind the bar, I would say, like, I saw a human that knew about the things I've done.
What?
The things I used to move. He was there, and I saw him for a moment.
Oh, how do you know?
I just know.
Oh.
But I haven't seen him since. I'm worried.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Was he with anybody?
I think he came with the Silver Flame.
That could be a good thing. Tari would, do you have your Gatling gun on, or is it off?
It's on.
Alright, well, Tari would say, keep our friend, keep our friend maintenance, and make sure you grease it every now and then. Keep it, smooth.
Just like you showed me in the shop.
And don't worry about the Silver Flame. If some religious fanatic, for lack of a better word, and she'll look around, make sure nobody hears her say that. If some religious fanatic is here from your past, it probably has something to do with helping you understand maybe a little bit more where you're from.
Ocho would kind of look at you, so I should talk. I should find him.
I would, yeah. I mean, maybe take somebody with you. I could go with you, or take Virgil with you. Just to be on the safe side. But if you were in trouble, or if they were going to harm you, they would have done it already.
Ocho now realizing, like, oh yeah, I am a big 7 foot tall stone being. Yeah. I can stand up for myself. Okay. For some reason, when he talks to Atari, he just kind of kicks right back to being a kid. So.
All right. Let me know if there's anything I can do. I gotta catch up with Carlotta here for a second.
Okay.
I guess Ocho heads out of the back room and Carlotta heads in.
Is there any way our friend would tell anybody about our heist?
No, not in the least.
Well, somebody knows.
Well, if they found out through Nora Nightshade, then Virgil saw to it that that particular line of information leaking is no longer feasible.
Well, that is very good news. Okay. I need to disappear for a little while. I don't know what Thorne is going to do about about running the city's defenses, but let's say in the interim, until he comes up with a plan, can you just continue on as me, not in a mayoral capacity, just in a concerned citizen capacity? Yeah, exactly.
Certainly. And I also ought to update you about the Iron Fist situation. It seems like it will be resolved shortly, in a way that agrees with both of us.
Okay, that would be good. Right? That's good?
Yes, I certainly think so. Why are you leaving town? Did anything you want to be concerned about?
No, I don't know if it's anything you need to be concerned about. I think my father's come out of hiding to get me. And I don't think he's coming to get me to, hurt me. I think he's coming to get me to whisk me out of where I am. Which is why I asked you the question about if anything leak, because it seems pretty either, I don't want to say convenient. What's the word you use? Ironic? No, is it ironic? I don't know. It seems very unusual that he would pick this time to make himself known and come out of hiding. And because we ripped off House Kunderik, I can't help but think that somebody knows something.
Well, it's hard to be certain, but I am very good at twisting the truth when necessary. So if anyone does come looking for you, is there any story you would like me to make sure they believe?
I don't know what you should say initially, but if any heat comes on you or Virgil or Ocho or Baron, you spin the story that it was me and me alone that heisted the train.
I'm sure I can spin the story that it was Nora Nightshade, but worst case scenario, thank you for your sacrifice.
Yeah, well, Nora and I always got along.
Right up until she nearly killed you. Isn't that just the way of things?
Yeah, well, yeah, strange times. What? Did a cult literally just descend on our town? I think Atari would have now kind of relaxed a little bit.
I don't know if it's a cult. It definitely doesn't have the same, I guess, energy that the mushroom incident did. How are you holding up from that, by the way?
Oh, well, I feel pretty good. A little jarring still, but I was
don't
kind of
think we
hoping.
need to worry about a repeat of that, but I do think we probably ought to keep our guard up.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping this heist would take my mind off it a little bit, actually, but I think that was successful up until the point I got a message from my father. So, I think I'll be able to maybe not process what happened in the cult for a little while longer. Not that anything bad happened, it was just pretty heavy.
Well, as always, if you ever need to talk about anything, you know where to find me.
Alright.
I believe you also know sending.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch. I'm probably going to leave here within the hour. Anything I can do for you?
I don't think so. Is there anything you'd like to bring with you before you go? That's a nice bottle of alcohol. We aren't selling very much of that, unfortunately.
Well, if you got something, I'll take it. I think my father always liked I think he always liked a dry whiskey. I don't even know what that means. How can a whiskey be dry? So if you have something, that would be great.
Oh yes, I think I know exactly the thing. And luckily, it's on a shelf I can reach. Well, grab a nice bottle and give it to Atari.
Thank you very much. I'll send you a care package when I get to the destination that I can lay low for a little while. So expect something from me.
If you do hear anything about the Silver Flame while you're out, the best thing in any care package is information.
Yes. That I will definitely arrange. He pulls out kind of not a file folder. Yeah, I think the closest thing you could get to a file folder in this Eberron universe. And she says, I got to give some stuff to Virgil before I go. And she would kind of spontaneously give Carlotta a big hug. A little too hard, like it's going to be a while before I see you again.
Now Carlotta's going with that this is apparently a people hug Carlotta kind of day.
Yeah. All right.
It's like
You're
the third
huggable.
time.
All right. She takes the bottle and puts it in her satchel and goes to find Virgil.
Virgil, you're just inside the front door of the saloon.
Okay.
And Tari, you see him and you head on up to him.
Atari gives you like a file folder with a piece of yarn that's kind of like holding it closed, and you can see some like papers, some scrolls that are kind of busting out of the sides. And she says, here's every abjuration spell. You can use it to do your sheriffly duties, whether it's alarm or locate object or shield. Will help you. It'll help you find some things.
Well, I've never been too good with magic, Atari, but I sure appreciate it. I'll get Carlotta to help me if I need to use any of these.
Nice thing about abjuration is it's not gonna necessarily hurt anything, so feel free to use it incorrectly.
Wow, that's almost a guarantee.
All right, I mingle around here like nothing's wrong, and try to look for a dwarf concealing himself.
Yeah. Give me a perception check.
All right. And as I also do that, I would also be looking for Baron one last time.
Yep.
I don't think that perception check is going to work. It's a 5.
Okay, so yeah, you don't see any concealed dwarfs. Virgil, give me a perception check, and while you're rolling it, Atari, you see Baron, and he walks up to you, and he's like, "Haven't seen you all night, Atari."
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Atari would call over Better Ravensteel and say, "You're in charge of Better Ravensteel now until I get back."
Do you want this bird alive? Yeah.
Do I want this bird alive? Well, I mean, it's not my decision anymore, because the pact is now with you. So do as you wish.
I will guard it with my life.
But Better Ravensteel will probably come back if you are abusive or try to kill him in some way. Nothing worse than a zombie familiar, undead familiar.
Noted. I've got you.
All right. Careful who you give that sword to next time.
That's right. Virgil, how about that perception check?
It was a 9.
you hear
Nice.
Yes.
Incredible timing.
there is some scuffling out in the street, some shouting. And as you step out, you see the crowd parting, and there's a group like 15 to 20 dark clad individuals lumbering up the street. And kind of at their head is like, honestly, like pretty much this Warforged from the book. I'll post the screenshot again. Just like, yeah, mean looking. He's got a hat on. His cloak would be like black, not red. Just kind of at the lead, and as if on cue, like all of these 15 to 20 of them just kind of throw back cloaks, and they're all Warforged. And he's kind of at the lead. He kind of looks up at the flint, and he says, "We came for Atari. Hand her over. Nobody gets hurt."
Virgil would certainly march his way out into the street to confront this new group.
Ocho would be confused. He'd be like, her dad's a Warforged?
I don't understand what's happening.
How do you think I knew
Someone's gonna
anatomy
need
that well?
Someone's gonna need to talk me out of telling them that Atari hangs out at the Gold Dragon.
Or do we want to talk you out? So Virgil would approach the lead one, and who might you all be?
Told you. All we want is the girl.
I hate to break it to you, but nobody here is turning over Atari. And you're currently talking to the sheriff, so if you've got no legal business in the street, I'm gonna have to ask you to move on or disperse.
He kind of he just kind of like throws back his cloak, revealing his like wand strapped to his thigh, and kind of he's got two, kind of his fingers kind of dance a little bit. He stares you down. He says, "They call me Iron Clint."
I'm sure I misheard the second part of that name. What'd you say it was again?
Hand over the dwarf, or I'll put you down right here, Sheriff.
I get a nickel for every time somebody told me that. And then I call out to Carlotta, because remembering now that she completely disarmed me, I would yell for Carlotta to bring me my axe.
I'll bring the axe out and say, "What seems to be the problem, gentlemen?"
Who's the fastest shot in this town?
Shots you're looking for, you're welcome to come in and have a drink.
He walked right into that one.
He whips out his wand and he shoots the sign hanging above the door. Shoots the chain, and the flint and steel sign falls to the patio below.
Oh, since might be that sort of day.
I'll ask again. Who's the fastest draw on Hope's Edge?
You see, I don't know why you had to go and do something like that. We were having a pleasant conversation before now, but you went and just committed a crime right in front of the sheriff. What kind of
peacekeeper
lawman
to
would I
Virgil and
be?
say, yes, that does seem like it was a bit of destruction of property. And then hand peacekeeper over.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. So, sir, kindly.
Did Joe or anybody know about the list? The sharpshooter list, or what was it called? The gunslinger.
Yeah,
Did anyone know about that?
The thing you got.
Yeah,
the duelist scorecard. Yeah, I'd say sure. Ocho has it. It has it. You write a name on, and it orders it for how
right.
deadly this.
The number one wasn't it Nora?
Yeah,
was number one. So Ocho would just say out loud, "Nora Nightshade is the best shot in town."
Nice.
Well,
According then
is that your town's representative? Tell her to step forward and.
Nora.
Carlotta's gonna say, I think you might find her at the ruins.
Does Atari hear any of this?
Oh yeah, Atari hears everything.
Oh, all right. Right, she's gonna see how this last little bit plays out.
Who's the closest person to you, Ocho?
Like, just where we're standing
Anybody.
physically?
Just anybody. Yeah.
Not emotionally or anything like that.
Yeah. Physically.
Let's see. You would either be standing near Carlotta, but Carlotta just went and gave the stuff to Virgil. So, yeah, he might be near Atari, but he'd probably be just standing back near the door, kind of near where the sign fell off.
Okay. I'm thinking like Baron and Thorne and them are still kind of inside. They haven't came out yet.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just this Warforged looks impatient, and he's like, somebody is gonna get put down in this street. A duel for the dwarf.
All right, Atari can't take it anymore. Sure, come forward. I'm Atari. What do you want?
I accept the terms of your duel.
Virgil?
Hold on. Let's see what he wants first.
All right, sheriff.
He wants first.
He looks the sheriff in the eye.
Wait. Ocho takes the list and he writes Virgil's name on it. Where does Virgil's name appear on the list?
When's the last duel you fought, Virgil?
Oh. There was that one time with the Schmeckle boy, but I hardly count that as a duel.
Schmeckle.
He was slow.
So as you write Virgil in, Nora's name disappears. Ravensteel goes to the top. Virgil goes to 2.
Oh, can I see the list? Would Ocho show me the list?
Yeah, the list is magic, so it just happened.
Show him, he's gonna want to prove himself.
Can I say Nora's name now disappears, like, completely, right?
Yeah, it's
Is that
gone.
what you
Yeah.
said? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Ocho would be like, breaking news. The list has been updated. Ravensteel is at the top of the list.
You want him to duel with the bird?
Wait, where am I on the list?
Iron Clint, he steps forward, he says, Ravensteel's in this town. Tell him to get out here. I'll deal with him after I deal with the sheriff.
Atari's gonna ask him one more time. What do you want with me?
I don't want anything with you, but my master wants you, and he wants your dad, so you're coming with us.
Who is your master?
Talk's cheap, dwarf. Sheriff, let's get to it.
Say when, lapdog.
I'm going to pat Virgil on the arm and say, try not to get too much blood on that shirt. His blood, I mean. It's borrowed. And I'm going to give a bardic inspiration.
Ooh,
Nice.
So I'm gonna send.
You can add a d8 to stuff.
I'm gonna send you a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
Virgil. It's just like zoomed in. It's the dueling rules that from the book that I posted, but I've got them zoomed in for ease of access.
Okay.
I think probably Baron comes out at this point. Kind of sees what's going on, goes up to you, Virgil, and he's like, are you dueling this Warforged? Do you even know what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, come on. How hard's a duel?
It's a duel.
I can shoot.
Baron
I'm
goes
on that
over.
list somewhere. Ocho just said I was on the top of that list. Put the list away, Ocho.
Deception check.
Ocho's shaking the list like a.
You misheard me, Virgil.
Baron goes over to Ocho and he's like, write the Warforged's name on the list. Oh wait, I'm above Virgil?
Yeah.
No surprise. Put the Warforged's name on.
That's not been verified.
Are you sure? I want you going in with all the confidence in the world. I want you going in as number one.
Put it on and then don't show me.
Show me. I need to know.
Okay, and then I give you a nod, but then I expect you to go forward before I write it down.
Yeah.
But,
He
but
turns
I want to
back.
give you like Ocho puts his hand on your shoulder and he looks you in the eye and goes, "You are number one."
Oh yeah, we got this. Flames on my side. And he nods and turns.
Okay, and Ocho writes down Iron Clint. Where does it go?
It goes right to number one.
Of course.
So I'm 3 now? Fuck this list.
Don't worry, Sheriff. We know that killing whoever's at the top takes them right down.
Well, now
Recent experience.
now my ego's at stake. Setting the stakes. I guess it's for pride now.
Oh, it's he looks at you and he says, "It's to the death."
Always is.
Virgil, quick sidebar. Was your help with the
Carlotta,
numbers?
I'm about to duel somebody right now.
Yes, to the death, and I have healing spells. Do you
All right,
have
fine.
them?
Take one second. Iron Hunt, just real quick. It's a long name. Should shorten it. Carlotta, what?
Do you need healing spells? You're dueling to the death. I think you could use whatever you can get.
I mean, I feel great, but my character sheet says 17. What? Yeah, I mean, I won't say no. Yeah, I got 17 HP from the battle.
Alright. Well, Atari will cast a 3rd level Armor of Agathis on you. At least you get another 15 hit points.
Okay. Is that temp or just regular?
It's temp.
Okay.
Alright, and Carlotta will hit you with a 2nd level Cure Wounds. And that's 10 regular HP.
Awesome. Alright. Not looking so
You still
bad
got the
now.
Bardic Inspiration.
Yes.
But Atari would like to make some kind of a history check on this character. Like,
Sure.
is there anything that's even remotely noticeable? So let's see here. History. Oh wait. Give me 1 second. Where is my character sheet? Is this my character sheet? Yeah, this is my character sheet. Alright, history. Yeah, not terrible. 11?
Yeah, so, like, there's a lot of notorious duelists in Kabara. Yeah, you've never heard of Iron Clint.
Why would someone send a duelist to get Atari's dad?
So,
Alright, well,
Virgil, I've already got it picked out for Iron. So what's Virgil's style when he duels?
I'm gonna say that it would probably be overwhelming. It seems to be Virgil's style.
Okay. And for stakes, Iron said he's dueling to the death, but you have the option. You're going to the death. Okay. So you look into Iron's eyes. You're watching every motion. You're searching for a weakness, a blink. A single bead of sweat can give the game away. Unfortunately for you, Warforged don't sweat.
That's true.
So, during the stare down, there's 3 rounds. We're going to roll for initiative each time. So I'm going to roll for Iron, and I'll get you to roll an initiative roll right now.
I would like to use an inspiration.
Great.
I rolled a nat 1. Natural 20.
Wow, okay. Nice. So, he didn't roll that good. So, you with the lowest initiative score declares the first move they're gonna make. So you see Iron, his dueling style. He's twitching. You kind of see his fingers are twitching, and I think I sent you the list. And so now you can choose, in response to his dueling style, because he rolled second, you choose what you want to roll. Some of them are stronger against others, but also you want it to be like something you're good at. So for example, like see through them is good against Twitch, but only if you roll a good insight check.
Okay. So explain that to me one more time, because are you talking about the styles?
No, we're oh, I didn't. Yeah. The styles.
Okay, so like
there's like Twitch, show off.
Okay,
blah.
so he's
So he's Twitch.
And I'm looking for I'll do. Let me see which one's better. Probably. I think I'll do Eye of the Beholder. That would be my best. Actually, hang on. You know what? I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the tactical analysis. So it's a investigation check. You learn your opponent's current strategy.
Yeah.
If you win the check by 5 or more, you can change your own strategy to choose.
Perfect. Yeah, sounds good. Okay.
Investigation.
So investigation, and he's gonna roll dexterity, and I think it's just a flat roll off. But you do have the Bardic Inspiration. There's 3 rounds of this, so you can use that Bardic Inspiration whenever you want.
I'll use it now just so I don't have to burn an inspiration. And that's D4?
You roll a D20.
For Bardic?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's a D8 for Bardic.
D8. Yeah. Okay, so 14.
Okay. So yeah, you learn your opponent's current strategy, but you didn't win by 5 or more.
Okay.
So you can't change your own strategy, but his strategy is he went with quick.
Quick. That makes sense.
Yeah, so which is not advantageous for you because you chose overwhelming, so he would have advantage on the attack roll during the shot unless you're able to pull off tactical analysis in the next round or the third round to change yours.
Okay.
So then now because you won, you also get a actually, yeah, fuck. These rules are kind of complicated. I think you get I think you get a
complicated. No.
I think you get a trick dice.
Tricky.
Oh no, there's certain things that say you gain a trick dice. Okay, never mind. We're good. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Roll initiative again. Second round.
Okay.
I got it.
So we do 3 rounds before we actually shoot? Is that how that works?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is that thing when they're making eye contact and like twitching their hand at their side?
Oh,
exactly.
yeah. Okay.
So Virgil, you're studying Iron. You see him twitchy. You see that he's just pure speed, and you know that if you try to overwhelm him, you're liable to get shot down here. So you need to make a move. So, what did you get? He rolled a 16. Initially.
I rolled an 11.
Ooh, okay. So you get to choose first. So you pick your dueling style.
Okay. I guess I'll try. My 2 best ones are Eye of the Beholder and Tactical Analysis. Those are my best pluses.
The one thing about the tactical analysis is that there's nothing else strong against it except itself, so he would also have to do it.
Yeah.
To counter you.
I'll try the tactical analysis again.
Okay. He's looking at twitchy again. So.
Okay.
Dexterity sleight of hand versus investigation. Let's see what we get. Ooh, wow.
Damn.
He rolled really well.
All right, I'm gonna burn an inspiration.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, are bystanders of duels allowed to cast silvery barbs?
It actually says something about that like guidance and bardic inspiration are okay, but if people try to get involved too much, it's liable to have unintended consequences, aka this other 15 Warforged standing behind him.
Yeah,
but you can try anything you want.
I roll 17 on the second.
Ooh, yeah, he's got you. He rolled it natural 18. So you rolled a 17. He's got an 18. Yeah, Dex sleight of hand is this thing. So he did beat you by 5 or more. So he gets 2 trick dice. I don't know exactly. We'll find out what those do. But he's got 2 trick dice. Third round. This is it. Roll for initiative. Oof, he got a natural 20.
Fuck off. I got an 8.
Okay. So you pick first again.
All right.
And again, remember that his style's currently countering you, so you need to change your style if possible. I think tactical analysis is the only one that lets you do that. So
Yeah.
Oh no, the sage advice says you can change your own strategy too. But anyways.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try see through them. So maybe I can get rid of one of his trick die.
Yep, sounds good.
Right. Insight. Come on.
and so that's strong against Twitch. So I think you'd get an extra D4. But
Natural 20.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, he was gonna go for his Twitch anyways, but nope. So yeah. So what's it modified after the natural 20?
22.
Hit. So yeah, he loses a trick die.
Okay.
Okay, so I think that's the stare. I think we're into the shot. So spells fly. Roll initiative.
Alright. 13.
Yeah, you rolled a 10. So the duelists reveal their style and the level of spell slot they want to expend. So take notes of the style, and if one duelist expends a higher spell slot than the other, they gain a trick die. So yeah, he's I think you can only cast cantrips, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I guess technically I can cast Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, that's a cantrip. So
it's a cantrip, yeah.
So he's an actual spellcaster, so he's gonna use like a level 2 spell.
Okay, I think that beats my cantrip.
So he'll gain an extra trick dice, so he'll have 2, and his style is, like I said, quick. So he will have advantage since you're going with overwhelming.
Am I allowed to rage at all during this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I would have liked to have rage.
Okay.
You do have a scroll of counterspell and dispel magic.
I guess the thing is now is, will he be able to pull that out before Iron puts a shot in him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm that fast.
So yeah, go ahead.
Also, if how far away from me is he?
I'd say you're like 90 feet from each other.
Would my
Or less, 60 feet.
would my fiendish punishment distract him at all, since all I really have to do is look at something?
Yeah, I'd say I'll give him a fault dice for that.
Okay.
So it's a d6 that he'll subtract from his attack roll. So he's rolling 2 trick dice, 1 fault dice, and he'll have advantage.
2 trick dice, 1 fault dice, and he has advantage. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, now we make the rolls, and then we'll count them up.
What am I rolling for this?
So you roll a d20, like a ranged spell attack, and then I don't think you had any modifiers. No trick dice or fault dice or anything, so I think you're just rolling your d20 plus your spell, basically your Eldritch Blast, like attack roll.
Okay.
Whatever your modifier is.
D20 plus my Eldritch Blast attack roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, 15. 12 plus 3. Just the hit die, right? For the Eldritch Blast, it's like plus 3, yeah.
Should be, it's like your proficiency bonus plus your spellcasting modifier. Should be higher.
Proficiency bonus. All I'm looking at right now is just the Eldritch Blast, and then it says it's plus 3, but that's on the hit dice. So that's what I was basing the 3 off of. I'm not really sure how to do that. Oh, proficiency is, it's plus 3.
Oh, and then your spellcasting modifier.
Looking for that now. How would I see that? I'm sure it's right in front of me.
I think we said it was strength.
Oh, yeah. That's 4.
Okay, so plus 7. So what your d20 plus 7?
Yeah. It would be 19.
Okay. 19 and so you and Clint, you and Iron Clint both draw. You draw a Peacekeeper. Clint draws his wand, 2 wands, and you see just magic lighting at the tip of both of them. And you're a Peacekeeper. Sorry, I gotta do a recount. 22. You got a 19?
Yeah. 12 plus 7.
Wow. So the shots ring out. Virgil, you see these just 2 blasts coming from him, from this like Warforged sorcerer. Your Eldritch Blast. What does the Eldritch Blast look like as it comes out of Peacekeeper towards this Warforged?
It's I modeled it after like if it was like a shotgun. So I guess for magic purposes, it would be like an initial blast, and then it would be like shards of like red, I guess almost crystal-like looking substances in kind of a cone shape headed towards whatever I'm shooting at. So obviously closer better, but range works too.
Yeah. So there's like these 2 ice, maybe not ice, but they're just like blue magic shooting towards you. Peacekeeper. They meet in the middle. You guys tied. That your fiendish energy just put him off enough. Exactly awesome. 19. The energy comes together in the middle, and in this big explosion, and shards fire off, pounding into Iron and pounding into you. You instantly lose half your hit points.
All right.
And Iron just takes like a shoulder full of arcane attack. And the dust kind of settles. And he looks at you and just kind of gives you a nod. And he says, "Not bad, Sheriff, but it's time to finish this. Boys," he signals to his Warforged, and they throw back their cloaks. They all draw wands, axes, crossbows. And we're going to need everybody to roll initiative.
Now see, this is more my speed. We could have just done this from the start.
Alright. Let's see.
Got a 12.
24.
Ooh.
Nice.
12.
I'll inspiration my 13 and see if I can get a better roll. Yeah, 20.
So this is going to be a mess. There's 15 Warforged. There's you guys. There is Baron. Thorne has come out. Solara, Lucian. There's all these people coming out. It's a showdown in the street, and just magic and crossbow bolts, and people are running at each other, and it's chaos. So, who had the top initiative?
I think Ocho.
Yeah,
Ocho. Ocho, what are you doing in the situation? Is everybody just in that like split second where everybody's just fired their first shot,
Yeah, so
everything's going off?
In that split second, first I'm looking around for like Slink or anyone small like that to maybe like scoop up off the ground so they don't get trampled.
Yep.
And if there's no one like that, then Ocho would just sort of be, did Baron come out of the
Yeah.
everyone's out there, so Ocho first instinct would be like pick up Slink.
Okay. Give me like an athletics check or an acrobatics.
I'm gonna inspiration that. Oh, not much better. Last one. First Slink. 16.
Slink.
So you see Slink, and as you're running to get him, if you want with your Gatling gun, you're able to get some just covering fire off. You shield Slink, and he just kind of like looks at you, and he's like, "What are you doing? Let me. I wanna fight. Let me at him. Let me at him.
No, Slink. No. Not you.
I want blood."
No, only blood of rats for you, which we need to talk about. I heard that.
Do you pick him up and grab him? Because he can't.
I pick him up, grab him, and I hoist him on my shoulder. And if he wants to sit on the shoulder and run into battle with me, I'll do it.
Okay. Whoever was next up on initiative, what are you doing?
I think Atari is gonna mount her phantom steed that she ritually cast earlier. She's got an extra one for her dad. And as she kind of starts to head kind of out in the opposite direction, she'll cast Sleet Storm on the Warforged.
Okay.
She'll cast it in such a way that it's like just in front of Virgil. So it should. Well, they said they're 90 feet away.
I think they were like 60, and then they're getting closer. Like people are running into melee, like it's hectic chaos.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll try to put as much distance as we can that they have to move through it. So it's difficult terrain. Dexterity 17, DC to not be knocked prone. Also, is it lightly obscured or heavily obscured? Heavily obscured.
Okay.
And Atari will tell everyone to take cover, and she'll look around for her dad because he better show up here pretty quick.
Yeah. So you and Carlotta are like side by side, and you get a touch on your wrist as you cast Sleet Storm. You feel a touch on your wrist that you haven't felt in so long, and you turn and you see your father crouched. He just somehow snuck up behind you, as he's capable of doing. Looks you in the eyes, and he looks at Carlotta as well. And Carlotta, you see like Atari in male dwarf form, much older, just a spitting image. And he kind of looks at you, smiles, and he grabs the Atari and he says, "We've got to go, and I'd be forever indebted to your friends if you can hold these Warforged long enough for us to get out of here."
Consider it done.
All right, well, mount up and let's go, Dad. He's got a phantom steed for him there.
One day, we'll be back and we'll explain everything. He says to you, Carlotta. And then he also says, "Look after Ocho."
That's something you can certainly trust that I'll do.
And he grabs his daughter's hand, and they each mount their phantom steeds. And Virgil, as sleet falls all around you, this cold, you're in your element. You see Ocho shielding Slink. You see Atari and an older dwarf you've never seen before, mounting these phantom steeds. What are you doing?
Recognize... Oh, yeah, go for it.
It's fighting time.
Do I recognize the dwarf?
No.
Atari's dad? No.
No.
Yeah, I don't think has Virgil ever met Atari's dad? Would he recognize him at all?
No, I don't think anybody has.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody has.
Yeah. So I know that Atari told me that she was leaving earlier, so yeah, I will start laying down, just distracting the Warforged as much as possible, laying down, taking shots with Peacekeeper, and then to help him get away.
Yeah, give me an attack roll.
$22.
Yeah, so you're just firing shots off with Peacekeeper, and you see Baron kind of is side by side you now. He's got his wands drawn, firing off silver magic. Kind of looks at you and said he was going to kill you earlier, but now that you're back in the thick of it, fighting together, it's on like old times. And
That's the fourth time that's happened.
and you see coming out of this sleet storm, this Warforged Clint with both wands drawn, and that brings us lastly to Carlotta. What are you doing?
How many of the Warforged can I hit with a 15-foot cone?
Oof. Hard to say. The storm is obscuring it, but if you let it loose, I'm sure it'll do its best.
Alright, let's do a 3rd level Burning Hands. I need a dex save from all of them.
Okay. So, Baron and Virgil, you're just back to back, just firing shots off, and this flame just blasts by you into the storm, engulfing these Warforged, and just a wall of flame is erupting. Slink, Ocho is running off with Slink, taking shots, and Atari and her father ride off away from the fray to safety. And our heroes are left in the thick of it. And that is where we're going to end for tonight.
The record show that everyone that got hit got 31 points of fire damage.
Holy shit!
Nice.
Get wrecked.
Let the record show.
Let's see if Warforged can have a melting point.
Well,
Damage she's done in
everyone,
one hit.